Hello, everyone. My name is Elizabeth, and throughout the series of introductory lessons to the German language, I'll be explaining some of the most basic aspects of German grammar that those who are beginning their studies will need to know in order to have strong foundational skills in the language. This will be the first lesson in the series, so please submit your feedback, both positive and negative, so that it will help me improve the further lessons. I'll assume that you already know what the German language is and in which countries it's spoken, as well as its various dialects. And for this series, we'll be using Standard High German, and specifically that which is spoken in the country of Germany. In this first lesson, we will be taking a quick look at the German alphabet. We'll be spending a bit of time to discuss some of the letters which may look unfamiliar to native English speakers, and also the letters which you may recognize because they may have differing pronunciations than what you're used to in English. We're not going to spend a lot of time on these individually, but I will quickly give a pronunciation of the standalone letter, as well as the pronunciation of an example word, so that you can see the letter being used in context. And you should also keep in mind that some of these letters may be pronounced differently depending on the word. Most of the time, you will just pick this up naturally as you progress with your learning, and it won't be too difficult. However, there is at least one particular case where it is important to keep that in mind, so we will discuss that briefly when the time comes. The German alphabet consists of 26 Latin letters, which we also have in English, A through Z. And if you notice the IPA transcription below each letter and you don't know what it means, that's okay. It's only important if you care about that. In addition to those 26 Latin letters, there are 3 diacritic letters. They are vowels which have an umlaut above them. And in addition to the diacritic letters, there is 1 ligature. Ligature is essentially a combination of 2 letters into 1 glyph, in this case a double S, and it does not have a capital version. You will never see it. This is the only version that's used. We will begin by going through the 26 Latin letters, since they do have differing pronunciations than that of English. We'll start with the letter A. A. And the example word here is Apfel. Apfel. And keep in mind, you do not have to memorize these words. They are only here to provide some context for the letter. However, if you do want to memorize them, you will be able to find the slides uploaded somewhere and linked in the description so that you can add them to flashcards or however you learn best. We'll continue with the letter B. B, as in the word bezahlen. Bezahlen. Then we have C. C. The example word given here is computer. Computer. This is an example of it's not always pronounced as an C, which again you'll learn just by exposure. Next we have D. D, as in the word Dach. Dach, meaning roof. E. E, as in the word Esel. Esel. F. F, quite similar to the English F. And the example word given is falsch. Falsch. Next is G. G. Gesundheit. Gesundheit. H. ha. Hoffentlich. Hoffentlich. Next is I. I, as in eagle. Eagle, meaning hedgehog. Yacht. Yacht. As in the word jagen. Jagen. Yacht. This letter, although it looks the same as the English J, it's pronounced as an English Y sound. Jagen. Jagen. Ka. Ka. Koala. Koala. Then we have L. L. Licht. Licht. M. M. As in Mond. Mond. N. N. As in the word normal. Normal. Spelled exactly the same as in English. Then we have O. O. As in the word oft. Oft. P. P. And the example word given here can be quite difficult to pronounce occasionally. You'll often see the PF combination in some words, and it's pronounced as in Pfirsich. Pfirsich, meaning peach. Again, Pfirsich. P. Then we have Kuh. Kuh, as in the word quasi. Quasi. This letter, R, can be difficult for English speakers. R. And the way it's pronounced is kind of similar to the trilled R in the front of your mouth using your tongue. However, it is uvular, so it is pronounced using the back of your throat, essentially. Like you're gargling, kind of. And the example word given here is rot. Rot. This next letter has 3 different pronunciations depending on the word. It's S, and I'll be going over each of them because it is quite important. You'll often see words where it's pronounced differently, and I'll give 3 of the common pronunciations here. So first pronunciation is equivalent to the English Z sound, Z, and the example word given here is Seele. Seele, meaning soul. The next pronunciation is S, so equivalent to English S, and the example word given here is Reis. Reis, meaning rice. The next pronunciation is so English SH sound. And the example word given here is stehen. Stehen, meaning to stand. Then we will move on to another letter, T. T, as in the word tot. Tot, meaning death. And if you'll notice, the D at the end here is also pronounced the same way, tot. And in German, if a D comes at the end of the word, it will often be pronounced like this, T. So keep that in mind. The next letter is U. U, as in the word Ursache. Ursache. Then we have V. V. This is pronounced the same as the English F sound. So V in German is not pronounced V, it's pronounced F. V. And the example word given here is vergessen. Vergessen, meaning to forget. And then we have V. V. This is equivalent to the English V sound, V, And so keep in mind the W in German is not pronounced the same as in English. It is pronounced as V, V. And the example word we have is waschen, waschen. Next we have X, X, as in the word xylophone, xylophone. And I've also heard xylophone, xylophone, but for this example, we're saying xylophone, as it matches the pronunciation X better. Next we have ypsilon, ypsilon, and this is not pronounced the same as Y would be in English. Slightly different. Ypsilon. And the example word given here is syndrome. Syndrome. Next we have Z. Z, which is the final Latin, regular Latin letter in the alphabet. Z, as in the word zahn. Zahn. So pronounced quite similarly as English TS combination. So we'll now move on to the 3 diacritic letters, which are the vowels with an umlaut above them. This first one is E, as in the word ärgern, ärgern. You'll often see these letters transcribed. If you can't do the umlaut, it's often AE, is how you would type it. So that kind of gives you a hint as to the pronunciation. And next we have OE, OE, as it would often be written. And the example word is Österreich, Österreich, meaning Austria. The final diacritic letter is Ü, 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 UE. And the example word we have here is üben, üben. The way that I like to kind of imagine this being pronounced is if you make like a E sound. If you make that same sound but around your lips, it's quite similar. The final one we have here is the ligature, which is called SZ. SZ. It's often written, if you don't have the ligature available to you, as a double S. It's also called the scharfes S, sharp S. And you'll never see it at the beginning of a word. And again, it doesn't have a capital version. The example word given here is Straße. Straße. All right, there's really not much more to discuss here. We'll be discussing more in the next lessons, which will consist of an introduction to grammatical gender in German, and I suppose language as a whole, if you've never been exposed to it before, and how that influences grammatical case, which describes how, gives pointers to the words a role in a sentence. So look forward to that. Thank you.